Every person's journey is different. Every path to greatness is unique. But one thing that unites them all is they are all Trojans. Find out what makes this story special as we go behind the helmet.
So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm Emily Chaisson. I'm a senior on the women's softball team here at Mount Olive. I major in math and chemistry, and I'm from Stokesdale, North Carolina.
Okay, Emily, so tell us what makes your family and your hometown so unique.
So my mom is actually from England, and my dad's from West Jefferson, North Carolina, so that's a bit weird. And I grew up in Stokesdale, North Carolina, and Stokesdale's smaller than Mount Olive. It had 2 stoplights, 2 gas stations, and a subway. Other than that, it's a very down home sort of everyone knows everyone feel, but to the extreme in Mount Olive. Because here you can go off campus and stuff and you might not know everyone, but Stokesdale, whether you just moved there 10 days ago or you moved there 10 years ago, you're going to end up knowing everyone in like 2 months.
So you have played softball ever since you were little. Could you tell me a little bit more about that journey from then to now and how that sport has impacted your life?
So I started playing softball when I was 7. I started getting pitching lessons when I was 9. And about the time I was in 5th grade, I knew I wanted to play college softball. That being said, I thought I was going to play at some big ACC school, and I did not realize my mom is only 4'10", and I'm not going to be tall enough to play at an ACC school. So after I realized I wasn't going to be tall enough, I knew I really liked school, so my parents were like, well, softball's something you can do to pay for school. So I kept working hard, I kept pitching, I played on travel ball teams, and about in 7th grade, my dad put me on a team that was an hour away. So I grew up playing softball in North Davidson, which is it's a softball mecca where I'm from. So I played there from 7th grade to the time I graduated, and even the year after I graduated high school, I was still eligible to play. So after that, I started looking at where to go play, and I was dead set on Division III. And the reason is because I wanted to do school and softball. I didn't want to do just softball or mainly just school, if that makes sense. I wanted something that I could focus more on my school than softball. And so everyone told me like Division III because you don't get as much athletic money, or if any, and then Division II, you start doing more softball than school. So I went on a bunch of visits, and my dad was like, well, there's this Division II school, they're interested in you. And I'm like, no, Dad, I want to do school, like not softball, school. And he was like, well, just go look. So I went, loved the coach, loved the campus, so I ended up coming here, and I came into a very unique role. I came in with a girl that was actually in the same conference as me as high school, so we had pitched and played together before, which was great, and it just ended up working out. Played there for 4 years now.
I know you've had some shoulder issues in the past, so if that's considered an injury for you, what exactly has happened with it and how has that affected your playing?
Okay, so my shoulder is kind of weird. Like, it's not injured, but I have so many knots that when you try to rub my shoulder out, it'll start twitching like this. And it's just odd. So I had a really hard time, especially last year, being able to pitch through that, because the more I throw, the more knots I get, the more it hurts. The biggest thing I learned, I've been working with the athletic training staff here, which is great, and they've just been telling me to like stretch and sort of build the muscles around it so the smaller muscles don't have to do as much work. It affected me mentally a lot because it's like an aching pain in your back, so when you're playing and you're doing something, you want to feel at your peak, and I didn't feel like that. So after working with them and doing some rehabilitation stuff, I feel like I've done great, like I came back, but it's just something I'm going to have to deal with. I just have muscles in my body that tend to, instead of go like this, which is fine. Just have to get used to it. So
school is super important to you. So can you tell me a little bit about your academic journey from freshman year Emily to senior year Emily?
Okay, so I came in and I was a math major, which makes a lot of sense. My dad was a math major, and so he had a friend that was an actuary. So I was like, okay, that would be great, like I can be an actuary. And so I wanted to get into the world of insurance because actuaries do a lot of things with insurance. So I was like, okay, I'll be a paralegal at a personal injury law firm because that deals a lot with insurance. I got there and I really liked the man I worked for. I loved everything, but the work was too slow for me. So I came back after that, and I was like, Dr. Seaton, he's my math advisor, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I think I want to add a science major. I was like, I think I want to do that. He goes, so you want to do medicine? I'm like, no, I'm going to do science. So I went over there and I talked to Dr. Caribou, and I was sitting in his office, and I was like, well, I think I want to add biology. And Dr. Jason Pieskey peeked around. He was like, "You do math, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Chemistry." And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "No." And then I walked out with a chemistry major. So I did that, and that being said, I declared late. It was sort of like a last minute thing. So instead of changing my major from math to chemistry, I was just like, let's just add it on. So that being said, I've been taking about 21 credit hours every semester, but I tend to do it myself because if there's a class that I want to take, even though it's on my degree sheet, I tend to take it, which I probably shouldn't do. So I've done that, and then not fall of 2019, but fall of 2018, I went to a chemistry conference and I spoke to Dr. Aaron Lucius. He works at the University of Alabama in Birmingham, which is huge for like any sort of chemistry, medicine. They have a huge med school. So I spoke to him. He does a lot of things with proteins, and for certain proteins that would be very helpful if they were able to work more in people to help fix like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and other neurodegenerative diseases. And so I spoke to him, and ultimately he offered me a spot to come in and do work in his lab last summer, so summer of 2019. So in the summer of 2019, I went down and lived in Birmingham, Alabama for the summer and worked for him, and it was great, and I loved it, and it was a good start to my senior year, which I have taken the least amount of credit hours. I took 20 last semester, and now I'm only on 14, so I have a lot of time, don't know what to do, but it's great because now I can actually focus on softball.
People tend to describe you as a goofball and a genius. So what do you think that means to you?
To me, I grew up in I guess my parents are very different but very much the same. My parents are both brilliant, but they're brilliant in different ways. My dad is very, very smart when it comes to school. Now, common sense, he has none of it. Like, if he's watching this, he'll probably be like, oh, that's rude, but it's true. Like, none of it. So I inherited that from my dad. My mom and my sister are both incredibly smart when it comes to like everyday common sense, people skills, things like that. So I guess growing up, my mom sort of taught me like, okay, you're like your dad, you don't have much common sense. If something goes wrong, you're gonna have to make fun of yourself before someone else does. So that's what I've sort of done. I've just taken on that role, like, be who you are and have fun with things. Otherwise, it's just gonna be miserable because I am kind of weird. And it's just like, I grew up in a home that had someone from the deep, deep South, and my mom's from England, so that's already something that's kind of odd about me. And then I grew up in a home where my dad is very into school and my mom is just like, just do your best. So I think it's sort of come from, my mom told me to have fun with whatever I'm doing, and so I've learned to have fun in school, which is then in turn made me enjoy school. So I think it's a good mix that I'm both. Like, I like being both, but I think it really comes from my family and the atmosphere that I grew up in there.
How do you feel about people calling you a genius on campus?
Oh, I don't like that. I think I've spoken to a lot of people. We read a book in honors this semester, so Outliers, and we spoke a lot, especially Dr. Kate spoke a lot about how like geniuses are born during the right time, or they're born in the right place, or things like that. But growing up with my sister, who is totally when we were growing up, we were total opposites. Like, she loved everything girly, and she hated school and all this stuff, and I was like completely opposite. But the older I've gotten, I realized just because I'm really good at the things people tend to not be good at doesn't make me a genius. It just makes me better at those things than other people. So I think a genius is someone that is really good or really skilled in a certain area. It doesn't mean that, because if you give me something like a whole bunch of dates to memorize in history, I'm not going to be able to do it. I mean, I could if I worked really hard on it, but I think a genius is someone that is able to work really hard and learn the material, but there has to be that will to learn. So I think everyone is a genius in something they want to be. It's just, I so happen to want to be educated and really informed on math and chemistry, which most people find hard.
What are your plans for after we graduate May 2nd?
Well, my plans immediately after that is to go have fun and do absolutely no schoolwork and read tons of books. But after that, when fall 2020 comes, I'm going to be going to grad school for getting my PhD in chemistry. I haven't decided where I'm going yet. I have an inclination, but I'm not telling anyone until April 15th because I'm making my sister wait.
Your life, could not be all softball and all academics. So what's some things that you fangirl over or that you enjoy doing outside of school and sports?
Okay, I like to read. I love to read, I love to cook, obviously spend time with my mom, my sister, my dad, my niece, my nephew, everything like that. If there's something to do like traveling, I love to do that. I've been to over 6 or 7 countries. I also really enjoy just spending time with my family. So like it doesn't matter what my family's doing, I like spending time with them.
How has the university helped you prepare for your after graduation plans?
Okay, so there's a bunch of different things I can say for this. So I'm going to start with softball. First of all, without having my coaches giving me the opportunity to come and play and grow as a player and grow as a person, I wouldn't be able to speak with people the way I do and realize that there's a lot of different ways of communication. There's a lot of communication methods. So if my coach didn't even give me the opportunity to come play softball, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I wouldn't be able to say that I'm hopefully going to be a graduate of the University of Mount Olive and I'm going to graduate school when I got into some of the top chemistry programs in the country. Like I wouldn't be able to say that if I didn't get recruited by Coach. So I'm very thankful for Coach Mandy and her the opportunity she gave me to come and play, and with the math and science department, I really cannot thank them enough, the way they've constructed it and the way that they've helped me throughout everything I've done. Dr. Seaton has listened to every single crazy career idea I've heard. He's been accepting of all of them. He's just been great. And then Dr. Paisky, both of them, the Dr. Paiskys and Dr. Rahman, have been awesome because they have really made it into a lab experience where you do things by yourself. You problem solve by yourself. You make solutions, you clean glassware, you do all that by yourself. And a lot of the larger institutions, you don't really get to do that. Like you don't have to make your own solutions. You don't have to write full-length lab reports. You don't have to analyze your own data. You don't have to problem solve. And that's what grad school is. You're doing original research that no one else has done before, not just the lab. And so if you mess up, there's not gonna be anyone there to fix it. So Dr. Chaisson, him having a more hands-off approach and being like, you're a chemist, you're learning chemistry, you need to figure out how to do it yourself, has really, really helped me. It's helped build my resume from this long to this long, because now I can say I've had experience on all this different instrumentation in the lab. I can say that he's helped me personally by learning how to communicate, again, with different people and how to speak science and how to network and things like that. And so without the University of Mount Olive and the people that they have put in place to help me move forward, I really wouldn't be able to say that, oh, I might be going to Vanderbilt to get my PhD in chemistry. It wouldn't have even been possible.
How much do you love learning?
I love learning. It's my all-time favorite. Anything about anything, anyone, everything, I love learning. Like, I think honestly that's why I've been able to enjoy school so much, because a lot of people don't learn to love learning, and if you don't learn to love learning, it's hard to enjoy school, because that's all it is. Because if I learn the subject, it's easier to take tests because I'm not just memorizing for a test, I'm actually learning the concepts and understanding it. And I think being able to instill a love of learning and to anyone from, for example, my nephew who's 2 and my niece that is 9, like seeing Lily, my niece, her love for learning grow, it's amazing because she wants to learn everything, which makes her successful in school. And it's going to make her successful when she gets out, in my opinion, because she's going to be able to learn a new task to do in her career. She's not just going to be like, oh, I have to go in, it's meeting. She's going to learn how to problem solve, how to think, how to do things, and learn the material. So if you instill that love of learning, then they're going to want to go to school, they're going to want to learn, they're going to want to do new things. But having like the not love of learning, it gets a little bit hard. So I'm a huge component, huge advocate of loving to learn. I think it's great.
What advice would you give to young girls or young women who are thinking about going to college just in general, or maybe in our positions wanting to do sports and college? What advice would you give them?
So the biggest advice I'm going to give them is find somewhere that you're going to be happy. It doesn't matter if you're just going for school or you're going for sports. You need to find somewhere that you actually feel at home for and a place that you will be happy to be able to learn and handle stress in a positive way. if you're somewhere and you're only going there for the school and the reputation it has and saying it's very prestigious and this, that, and the other, it's not going to matter as much if you weren't successful there. And the only way I really feel like you're going to be successful is if you're happy and you're motivated and you're supported. And so as females, we need to feel like that. And so I feel like when you're looking at schools and you're looking to play a collegiate sport, make sure you're happy with where you're going, not just the name of the school or the reputation or the prestige behind the school. Make sure you're actually happy and you're able to.
Is there anything you would like to say to your friends and family back home that might be watching this video?
I want to tell them thank you. That's like the biggest thing I can say. Like I tell my mom and I tell my dad that all the time. But like I don't think I give enough credit to like my sister, the coaches, my friends I had even back in high school that understood that I couldn't go to their prom because I had to go to a pitching lesson or something like that. And I really want to say thank you, especially to my niece and my nephew, because now I have people that look up to me even more than, it means more when it's your family, when you have someone younger looking up to you. So I just want to tell them thank you, and that sometimes they're annoying and sometimes I get an attitude with them, but I really love them with my whole heart, and everything that I'm doing is to help them. Like my mom and my dad have done more than they should have done for me. They've always given me everything. Like they've always worked hard. My mom's been working at a job that she didn't necessarily want to be at, and so I just want to say thank you for them, for sacrificing for me. Even my sister, like having time spent away from my dad and stuff because he had to drive me. Like I just couldn't say thank you enough for everything that they've done for me.